Welcome to Ampedcast, where we bring together the worlds of electronic dance music and storytelling. Get to know industry leaders and talent on the rise as we sit down with them to share their artist journey from behind the decks. Our community is one for artists and music lovers alike, so settle in and enjoy the experience. Welcome to Sessions powered by Ampedcast. We are here bringing you the stories of artists and entrepreneurs in the scene of EDM. So today we have something extra special on top of our normal programming, which I'm super excited because I had the pleasure of meeting a dear friend, Max, here, who is the founder of a company called Lumenearz. And we're going to dive into his story, his journey to business ownership, as well as his love for EDM. Welcome to the show, Max.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes. Well, let's dive in. I'd love to hear a little bit about your backstory and then a little bit about Lumenearz.
Yeah. So a little bit about me. I'm from Pensacola, Florida, which is a small city, like the east or the west side of Florida. It's kind of known for the amount of military bases it has, like retirees, veterans, which is kind of why I'm in this industry of hearing protection and hearing loss.
Okay, so tell me a little, let's dive a little deeper into that. So you were in hearing loss and you, it's a retirement community, right?
Yeah, I mean, Florida's kind of known for that, but Pensacola especially.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Okay, so how did you go from being in hearing loss, retirement to EDM?
Yeah, so EDM, well, just music in general has always been a passion of mine. Grew up listening to The Cure with my mom and Rage Against the Machine with my dad. And then I got into EDM when I was 16. But in Pensacola, how I got into audiology, because there's so many people that suffer from hearing loss there, that seemed like an industry to go into just because people needed that help. So that got me into audiology. So at 19, I started my internship at a hearing center in Pensacola. Started studying audioprostology, which is the science behind fitting and treating hearing losses. But having a love for music, I see a lot of people suffering from hearing loss in the clinical setting, and they kind of have the same story of going to concerts when they were younger, not protecting their ears, and then they suffer the consequences. They don't really regret going to the shows. Obviously, that's an amazing experience, but they just regret not doing anything about the protection side.
You touch on a really crucial point because it's something that, we do see a lot in the music scene. And it's nice to know that you're out there making something that is actually something people want to wear. So that's the cool thing. So I want to dive into Lumenearz and what sets you apart in the industry of earplugs.
Yeah, well, whenever people think of earplugs, they traditionally think of the ugly, big, thick foam ones.
Yeah, I remember wearing those.
Yeah, no one really wants to wear those. They don't look good. They don't sound good. So those are the big two things that I wanted to try to solve to get more people to wear hearing protection. So I wanted to change the way that people viewed hearing protection in general. So I wanted to do the opposite. So out there right now, you've got those, and then the other earplugs that people make are very discreet. So it's you want to hide them. But what if we made them light up and it's more of a fashion and style accessory? And then they also make the music sound better. I feel that was the goal going into it. And then that one would encourage more people to wear them.
Well, and I definitely saw the truth of that because when I was wearing them out at a show at the Concourse Project the other day, and people were asking me, what are you wearing? What's in your ears right now? They were lighting up. They looked cool. And I was telling them, just my friend Max over there, he invented this product, and it was hard to talk a lot at the show, but there was a lot of interest. And that is what I think sets you apart in the industry, as well as making a product that is, you're not just white labeling something, you're developing something. So I'd like to dive into you as a founder, not only as a founder, but you're an inventor of this product. How is that versus just white labeling a product? Yeah.
All of the main competitors out there who make earplugs are basically just taking them off the shelf and then private labeling them. So, something like this hasn't existed. And yeah, just being able to create something new is very difficult. Trying to explain the concept to a manufacturer and having it made with what I want it to be, what I think will work. Yeah, that was definitely a difficult part of it. It is cool how much attention they get. I know, like, whenever I wear them, people come up all the time. I didn't necessarily have this goal in the beginning, but it seems like it's turned into, like, whenever you wear them, you're an advocate for hearing protection, which is pretty cool. Like, you're showing your support for that. So I think it's a really good, thing to promote.
Oh, definitely. And I want to dive into the making process. Like, were you like soldering? How did you make the prototype for something like this? Like, what did you do for that?
Yeah, I know. We talked a little bit about it earlier. It seems like a pretty easy, like, design and concept. But it was crazy how many times I was told no in the beginning. Like, no, we can't make it that small. On average, we're only working with like 6 millimeters of diameter in the ear canal. So being able to miniaturize the technology to fit comfortably in someone's ear is difficult. So the first 6 months, like, trying to find someone to at least make a prototype was very difficult. So I literally, with my background with hearing aids, like, I know that it's possible. So just buying all the components, soldering them together in my office, and like making, a rough version of it and showing them, like, look, I know that this can work. This is how you do it. Yeah, that was difficult. I definitely got a lot of no's in the beginning.
And, as a founder, I'm also a founder, and, and musicians too are also founders of their music. How do you deal with the no's? Like, how do you overcome that kind of challenge and keep going?
Yeah, you'll get a lot of them. Just like sticking to the end goal. If you have a very clearly defined goal that you want to stick to, being able to go back and make sure that you're on track, following the steps that will get you there. For anyone who's starting something new, you're going to get you're going to get, like, unexpected hangups in the development process.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. So being able to think outside the box and being able to overcome those no's, it's just part of the process.
100%. And, when you talk about like hiccups and things when they go wrong and things happen, and it's like the grace you have going through it really is what makes it stand out. It's not always about getting it perfect the first time. It's about how do you overcome it? How do you keep going? And how do you put a smile on your face and say, all right, take 2?
Yeah. I don't know if I was smiling the whole time, but, I tried to.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited about what you're building, and I want to know where your inspiration came from with the product. Like, was there an aha moment for you when you were like, I need to make earplugs, or I see a need in the industry? How did that hit you?
Yeah. So I got into EDM when I was like 16, like Armin van Buuren and ATB. It's kind of what got me into it. But the first music festival I went to, I was 27. So it was a Sunset Music Festival in Tampa. And I didn't see like any of my friends wearing hearing protection. I had already been in audiology for, years at that point. So I like realized how crucial it was to wear earplugs. But yeah, no one really wanted to wear them. So after that event, that's where it kind of hit me. I'm like, all right, there's got to be a way to change the stigma around them. Like, people think that they don't sound good or they're unattractive. So maybe we can do the opposite of what other people are doing and come up with something that people actually want to wear. So that's been the goal. Like, how can we make it an accessory that you are not going to go to a show without? How can we make it as good as possible?
I dig that so much, especially like you're saving on people's ears, and you're also giving them something that they want to get excited about. And, as a founder, I want to kind of change into the topic of like, how do you fill your cup? As being a founder and the stresses of founding something, I know you love to travel. So let's talk a little bit about that. Is that some like where you decompress? Like, you recently went to Bali, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been me up until like working on this project up until earlier this year, where I had my first investor come in, which he lives in Australia, so he couldn't be here for this, unfortunately, but he wanted me to bring along this picture of him. His name is Alexi. And I went and met him in Bali, which, Bali's like way closer to Australia than it is for me.
Yeah.
So it was like a 17.5-hour flight to get there. It was a little rough. But it was nice. We went and like got to talk business, and like make sure that our goals are clearly defined, and we're on track to launch version 2, which we've been working really hard on. So it should be out in the next few months. That's like what we're really focusing on right now. But other than that, being able to travel in this industry, I mean, it's a scene that I love. So like partnering with different venues or different, music festivals. Just got back from Orlando, where I partnered with Homebase, which was like an amazing event. It was the first time I'd been to that. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice being able to travel and do something I want to do.
Oh my gosh, that is such the dream too for, just like, because you love the EDM scene so much, and to be able to travel and meet all sorts of people and new experiences. And so that was a music festival, correct?
Yeah, the one in Orlando, yeah.
Who was your favorite artist you saw?
Nightmare was really good.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
A little bit heavier than what I'm used to.
Okay.
But, I mean, the energy of the crowd was amazing.
That's super cool. I got to check that one out. As a founder, how important is it to you to build a community around you that supports you?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I've been fortunate with people giving me that support. Everyone realizes that it's for a good cause and that we all should be doing something about it. So I haven't had anyone say like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing this, because ultimately it's saving like, potentially millions of people from suffering from hearing loss. With hearing loss, I mean, that's the obvious downside of not protecting your hearing. There's so many other things that come with it. Whenever I worked in audiology, I mean, I felt like a marriage counselor half the time, because these couples would come in.
Yeah.
And because hearing loss doesn't cause any physical pain, it takes people a long time to actually do anything about it. So then they come in with like years of just, frustration of not being able to hear each other properly. So you can imagine if you have to repeat yourself to someone all the time, feels like they're not listening, or, they're not giving you the attention that you need.
Yeah.
There's a lot of side effects to it.
Oh, definitely. Well, it's so nice that you're building something that is going to help with that. So I'd actually like to check out one of the products. You guys want to see them? Yeah. All right. These are the Lumenearz. This is version 1.
Yeah, this is version 1.
Okay. They're lighting up.
Yeah.
And they're just
you can change the color of them. There's a button on those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
here, let's grab them out. Yeah.
I'll change them for you.
Oh yeah, those are rave worthy. You guys want a pair of these? We're going to be doing some giveaways here in a bit.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. People like match their outfits to them. And like you said earlier, you're always going to get people like coming up and asking about them.
Yeah,
but
these are
I mean, it's a good
fun.
sign. It's like, okay, this person like supports, something healthy. So I didn't intentionally make it that way, but now people that wear them are like, all right, yeah, it's like I'm promoting hearing protection. So it ended up being a really good thing. And now I'm hearing like people are changing the colors and wearing colors to like signal something about them. Like, I don't have it written down, but like red could mean something or pink could mean something. So it's kind of interesting.
Morse code.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. Very cool.
Yeah. So this is version 1. Version 2, can't give a whole lot of detail about yet, but I've got the prototype here. But there's some really cool changes that we've made. They are going to be rechargeable, and they sound amazing. They've got the best acoustic filter that you can get. So whenever you put them in, it should make the music a little bit, a little bit lower, but it keeps the clarity. So it's got a quartz crystal filter in it. And then there's some features on those with the lights that I haven't put out there yet, but there's some Easter eggs to look forward to.
Oh, I can't wait. Be on the lookout for those. So now I'd like to dive into our rapid fire questions and ask you a few questions where you answer very top of mind. Ready for some rapid fire?
Try.
All right. Question number 1 is, what is a piece of advice you would have for other business owners?
Yeah, just like with anything, that you're working towards, having a very clearly defined goal and then trying to work your way back from that is very important. If you're just, going with the flow, it's very hard to stay focused. So, I feel like we've kind of lost our ability to imagine things because we're constantly distracted by our phones and social media. So being able to put that away, and there's something magic about like writing down things. So try to just imagine what you'd want the best case scenario for you to be. That could be with your business or music or whatever it is. Clearly define that, write as much detail as you can, and then try to work your way back from that, like reverse engineer your way back to what your current circumstances are. And that kind of gives you a playbook on what to follow.
Oh, I love that. Reverse engineering is one of my favorite things when you kind of think of the end goal and like work your way back from there. That is super cool. Second question is, what is the key to success for you?
Key to success is, being able to help people. I think that is the biggest driver for me. That's, something I've seen the effects of, working in audiology is thousands of people coming in with the same stories over and over. And it's like they did the same things that we're doing now. They went to shows and just, it was out of sight, out of mind. Again, it didn't cause any like pain necessarily.
Yeah.
All of that pain comes later in life with like emotional pain from hearing loss. So just being able to protect as many ears as possible.
Absolutely love that. And my third question for you is, what is the challenge or roadblock that you faced in this whole career with Lumenearz that you overcame?
Yeah, I think we touched on it a little bit earlier, but when you're working on something that doesn't already exist, you're going to get a lot of no's, and just being able to like think outside of the box, work your way around it. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So that's kind of the job that you take, is you're a problem solver. So, yeah.
Well, those are wonderful. Well, this has been such a great conversation. I've absolutely loved talking to you. How can people connect with you online?
Yeah, the Lumenearz Instagram is probably the best way. We also have a website, Lumenearz.com, and hopefully you'll see more of them out there.
Definitely. And for our final question for today, what is most inspiring to you today?
I think just the EDM community in general. I love it because everyone is, a very good vibe. They take care of each other. They care about the environment. And it's overall very positive. I think this is a great addition to that. It's been a problem for a lot of the communities. They just don't like what's currently out there. So if we can just raise awareness about, being safe and healthy at the events, and we can do it for a much longer time.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Max, for being here. It was a joy to have you on the Ampedcast today. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much.